So you see, the science of astrology has been suffering for 500 years because astrologers have been teaching an incorrect and very, very atheist, materialist model of the universe. Ptolemy, who was good for all the astrologers for 2,000 years, 1,500 prior to Copernicus, he taught that first and foremostly is the Earth. The whole system is geocentric and stationary Earth. Hence, the luminaries that we see in the firmament above us, they are beings of four dimensions, of the fourth dimension, and of light. And so, in so doing, the astrologers that have accepted the Copernican revolution, they have turned themselves into atheists, and they are turning people away from God's religion, which is astrology, and from abstaining from meat. Here is Porphyry, one of the most famous of all astrologers of history. We still have his house system today because his house system was so good. And he and all of these other astrologers that I've mentioned show that you cannot be a meat eater and an astrologer at the same time. That's like being a prostitute and a virgin at the same time. It's impossible.
It's a good comparison.
Exactly. So you see these astrologers that are eating dead pigs' bums and dead cows' bums. They've got bacon breath. This is dishonorable to astrology. This is sacrilegious. This is disgusting. The vampires who are not astrological out there, who have lust for blood and for murder and for butchered animal bodied parts, yes, they can eat meat, but they are uncultured and uncivilized and unevolved and undeveloped.
But
it is a lie that we need meat. This is a lie which originates with the meat industry, which originates with the Jesuits. The Jesuits were the one that started this industrial meat industry of abattoirs when they started conquering the Americans. And you know, they had lots of land. They paid to have all the trees destroyed so that they could grow cattle, and then teach humanity that eating dead animals should be part of our diet. And the astrologers were horrified. This is disgusting. This is so putrid and demonic. I mean, I can't understand how astrologers think they are astrologers and they're eating putrefying dead corpse in their diet. We are supposed to have a godly science. Astrology is such a godly science. Let me show you how Firmicus Maternus teaches. This is like he has the astrologer's oath. The astrologer's oath is like the Hippocratic oath, and the Hippocratic oath is for doctors, and they live by that oath. Well, this guy, you know, one of the fathers of Western astrology 2,000 years ago or so, he gave us this beautiful oath here. Now, does this sound like many of the astrologers that you know? Because when I look at some of the astrologers, I see gluttons. I see heavy flesh eaters. I see bacon written all over their faces. I can see they eat meat because they're toxic. They look ugly. They look demonic, and that's what scares people about astrologers, because they are committing the crime of eating murdered animals, and they don't realize that all of the ancient astrologers, all of them, were all vegetarian. So, let's have a look, shall we?
Yes.
At what the great ones say about our beautiful science, and see how it compares with the astrologers of today, because you'll find that the astrologers of today do not even bear a candle to the ones of ancient times, because the ones today, they are Copernican, and Copernican heliocentric astrologers are liars, deceivers, and frauds. They are satanic and they are atheist. You know, in Firmicus's day, astrologers worshipped God. There was no atheism or animal eating in astrology. Okay, so I find that most of these New Age astrologers that are Jesuit Copernicans, upside down spinning, I find that they've got a very strong atheist spirit. They're demonic. I can't stand it. They give me the creeps. You look at the article, the advertisements for astrologers in the newspaper. Do you see any good-looking astrologers? I don't, particularly not the women. The women look like hags, and they're heavy flesh eaters. Here is what they say. Now, Western astrology is very accurate. You know, you can do medical astrology perfectly accurate with Western astrology. Both systems are accurate. I don't pay much attention to people who try to diminish the West or the Eastern styles, because both systems are having great success. Tropical Western astrology is much more accurate when it comes to the physical and the body. You can do medical astrology to the degree and find all the weaknesses in the body by knowing various degrees. And so this shows that the body is in tune with the ecliptic, which is the ecliptic zodiac. And so tropical astrology is the science of the ecliptic, the science of light, and the science of energy. So when people say, do you believe in astrology? Well, my answer is, well, do I have to believe in English to speak English? No, I don't believe in English. I know English. And so you don't need to believe in astrology. It's just a language. It's a language of energy. And this is the conduct of an astrologer. Now you, whoever you are, who try to read these books, since you have received the whole knowledge of this divine science, and are now endowed with the secrets of the stars, and have learned the first principles of the art, shape yourself in the image and likeness of divinity, so that you may always be a model of excellence. He who daily speaks about the gods, or with the gods, must shape his mind to approach the likeness of divinity. Therefore, study and pursue all the distinguishing marks of virtue, and when you have trained yourself in these, be easy of access, so that if anyone wishes to consult you about anything, he may approach you without fear. Be modest, upright, sober, eat little, be content with few goods, so that the shameful love of money may not defile the glory of this divine science. Try with your training and principles to outdo the training and principles of worthy priests. Keep away at all times from the enticements of the shows, lest anyone think you are a patron of this kind of thing. For the priest of the gods must be apart from low, base pleasures. Do not entrust the secrets of this religion to the sinful greed of men's minds. For one should not initiate souls of depraved men into the holy rituals. This divine science cannot at any time adhere to a mind captured and stained by wicked greed, and it always sustains the greatest loss when it is defamed by improper intentions. Therefore, Be pure and chaste. And if you have separated yourself from all kinds of wicked activity which destroy the spirit, and if the desire for the right way of life has freed you from any suspicion of crime, and if you conduct yourself as one mindful of the divine seed, approach this work and commit to memory the following books. So you see here that these astrologers were very, they had a way of life. Astrology is not just something that you call yourself. You know, if you don't look like an astrologer, which means like a vegetarian, you're bringing disgrace to your science, because it's a way of life. It's also a dietary way of life. It's a mental way of life. It's
an example, example to the people.
Exactly. We need to be exemplary. If you go to a doctor to heal you and he's really, really fat and unhealthy, you're not going to go back to him because he's not healthy. That's obesity is not healthy. And so if you go to a fitness trainer, a fitness coach, and he's got a big fat gut and big fat head because he eats a lot of meat, well then that's not a good example. You want a good looking man who, if he can make his body beautiful, you want to imitate that body, so you want to be trained by him. And an astrologer must be walking a beautiful, pure life before he can interact with anyone and share his sacred science with anyone. First, he must be pure, 100% pure, and no murder, no bloodshedding should be on their tongues. But people are looking like the animals they eat. People think they're clever if they eat just fish. Well, you're going to have a fishy heart. You're going to be flaccid and fishy, and you're going to be swim around in schools. You see, fishes are in schools, and so they put you in a school, because when you eat the meat of a pig, you become a swine. When you eat the meat of a cow, you become chattel. When you eat the meat of sheep, you become a sheeple. When you eat the meat of goat, they make you a scapegoat. When you eat chicken, you become chicken-hearted. You run away. You're a coward. So eating the animals makes you like the animals.